station has stated notice.
Oh, my God.
Good luck keeping up with us. Amateurs. So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike the match, and... Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show, the show where we talk about all things that are important in the world of barbecue. From big-name interviews with competitors on the barbecue circuit, grill manufacturers and pit makers, to advice on cooking brisket and ribs. You'll find it all right here on the Barbecue Central Show. Your host, Greg Rempe, is a backyard barbecue and grilling fanatic and loves to talk about his passion, which many of us share together. You can learn more about barbecue and grilling by visiting the website, thebbqcentral.com. Now, let's get in the smoke. Here's your program host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show. What is happening, Centralites? A very good Tuesday to you, wherever you may be. Welcome to the Barbecue Central Show. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. As you know by now, the Barbecue Central Show originates from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city of Cleveland, Ohio. Dare I say it, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. We are jam-packed. We are locked and loaded for another huge show. Let me give you an idea of what's happening. Just a few seconds, we're going to be joined by Jeff Stith as we continue conversations with folks that are running for the Kansas City Barbecue Society's Board of Directors, so we'll have him up here in just a few seconds. Segment after that, Ed Thomas from Team Grill will be talking about their unique brand of grill, especially if you are a sports fanatic and you love to rep your team, you're going to want to stay tuned for that segment. Third segment, John Kirby from Backyard Burners will be making his case for Kansas City Barbecue Society's Board of Directors. And then fourth segment, we're going to bring back the Petey River Swamp Sauce giveaway. So stay tuned to call in and win your 2-pack of Petey River Swamp Sauce. That's what's happening. Contact information, simple. Email address is bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. Phone number 216-220-0966. As promised, joining me now to talk a little KCBS Board of Directors nominee running is none other than Jeff Stith. Jeff, thanks for coming on the show tonight. How are you?
I'm doing great, Greg. Thank you very much for having me on tonight.
Certainly my pleasure to have you, and I appreciate you taking the time out to do it, Jeff. So within these next 10 minutes, let's try and cover as much as we possibly can for the people that have tuned in to see if they want to give you their vote or not. Jeff, first of all, before we actually get into the issues and all that stuff, how long have you been competing, and how long have you been a member of the Kansas City Barbecue Society?
Well, my wife and I started Big Creek Barbecue in 2005, so 2010 will be our 6th year of competing. We average we've done anywhere from 7 up to 15 contests a year. I joined KCBS actually before we started competing. I guess I just thought you had to join to compete. And so that's what I did. I've been a member since 2005 as well.
Now, it's certainly no surprise that if everything was, I guess, in your mind, peachy or running just as you would like it, this wouldn't have even crossed your mind to actually run. Have you made a run for the BOD in years past?
No, I have not. This will be my first time doing so.
Okay, so there's probably 5 or 6 of you guys that are actually doing it for the first time. One of the big questions would be, this is going to be a time commitment for you, so you're seeing some things that obviously you might differ in opinion with. Give us some of the big platform issues, some of the big things that you see that you would either like to tweak and make more effective, more efficient, or things you might like to see overhauled in a bigger scope.
Okay. Well, I think, first of all, it's not so much an issue, Greg, as it is just a general feeling among cooks that cooks are underrepresented on the board of directors. I feel like my fellow cooks out there need to have their voices heard and somebody to represent them on the board. And my plan, if elected, would be to represent, and be a voice for all cooks, regardless of where you are in the country. I'm from right here in the Midwest, but I represent all members equally, regardless of where they are in the country.
Talking with Jeff Stith. I'm sorry, he is the pitmaster of Big Creek Barbecue. Go ahead and finish your thought there, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, I was just going to kind of move on to some of the issues.
Yep.
One of the complaints that I've heard recently is the micromanaging. We need to let the office do what they're hired to do. They're good at what they do, and we need to let them do that and let the board focus on viewing the bigger picture. Specifically how to lead KCBS in the future, and we've got a lot of growth going on right now, and there's some important decisions that need to be made, and we need to focus more on the big picture. Some other things possibly. like to see more benefits for members, all members, cooks, judges, organizers. Cooks need more than a hotel discount. We can get those anywhere. Organizers should see more than an invoice from KCBS. I'd like to brainstorm with members and collect ideas to help make membership more desirable. I don't see as much transparency and openness as what I, as a member, like to see. There's a perception by members that KCBS operates behind some sort of a shroud of secrecy, so to speak. I think the board needs to be more open and visible and share with members. They changed it last year to allow up to 25 members out of 11,000 access to call into a board meeting. I just don't think that's good enough. And if I am elected, I want to be visible, vocal as I am now. And I plan to maintain a website. I believe I'm the only person running right now that has a website. I plan to maintain a website to communicate with members and collect ideas and explain my votes and so forth. So those are just some of the ideas I'd like to see.
We're talking with Jeff Stith. He is the pitmaster of Big Creek Barbecue. And the website he just mentioned, and I have reviewed it thoroughly, and as you said, you're the only one doing it. It's very professionally done, so if you don't hear anything that you were looking for specifically, the website would cover it, and that's votejeffkcbs.com. That's votejeffkcbs.com. Jeff, some of the other things that we have been hearing about here, either on the forums or with other interviews I've done, is this whole thing with that parsley ban and perhaps and the garnish rules and the parting of the pork. Where do you kind of, being a cook yourself, where do you kind of come out on these issues, and how would you have potentially done things differently, or what would you have liked to have seen done differently?
Well, I think on the parsley ban in specific, from the way I understand it, the actual warning came out a week before, so it probably should have been done a week before. I understand that all the parsley that was tainted was actually collected and secured before that ban actually came about. So I would have liked to see a little bit more warning on that, but that kind of goes along with some of the rules. That and the pork goes along with some of the rule changes in mid-season, which is another issue. I think rule changes should all be considered in the off season, started the first of each year, and not be considered during the season.
If, hypothetically speaking, let's say you get elected to the board and all the other incumbents get reelected, but you're kind of the new blood in, do you feel that potentially you're going to be up against it per se because it's still more or less the same old that is in there, and that your quest might be overheard by deaf ears? Well,
that's probably been one of the biggest or most common questions asked of me, and it may be. Change takes time. I know that. But I think I'm a voice of reason. I'm a president of the local park board where I live, and we've had very few, if any, dissenting opinions or dissenting votes. I'm always able to work together with everybody to try to accomplish things for the community, and I'd like to bring that to the board. I think it's just common sense, and maybe just, if nothing else, be a reminder. Hey, you know what, guys? We need to look at the bigger picture here. We're micromanaging. Let's take a look at the bigger picture and what we can do to help improve KCBS for the future, and not be looking back so much.
We're talking with Jeff Stith. He is running for Kansas City Kansas City Barbecue Society's board of directors. His website is votejeffkcbs.com. One of the other things I wanted to hit on with you, Jeff, is something that kind of recurs, is this CBJ training or offering some type of refresher course. Is that something that you agree with, or something that you would try to implement if you were elected?
Absolutely. I know that there's basically what we kind of refer to as several generations of CBJs out there. You have CBJs that were trained years ago, have CBJs that were trained just, this as early as just a couple months ago. So, rules have changed. We've got the CD that they listen to at every contest, but I think it's important that we take some time with everyone and not just make them listen to a CD where the rules have changed. Make sure that they're thoroughly familiar with everything, answer questions that they've got, and just have some sort of a continuing education program for the CBJs, hopefully to provide some, make sure that judging remains consistent.
All right, here in just the last couple seconds, is there anything else that you wanted to mention on making a plea, or at least getting some other items out there that people want to take into consideration before they cast their vote?
I think probably the biggest thing is I don't have a personal agenda. I've been in public service long enough to realize that, the really good leaders represent their constituency and not themselves. I might not always fully agree with what a majority of the members are telling me, but if I was elected to represent them, their ideas are what I'll represent. That's the way I feel about public service, and this is public service. So that's kind of what I'm going on.
He is Jeff Stith. He is the pitmaster for Big Creek Barbecue, making a run for Kansas City Barbecue Society's board of directors. You can check him out on his website dedicated to that quest, VoteJeffKCBS.com. Jeff, appreciate you coming on tonight, and good luck.
Greg, thank you very much.
All right, take care. There he is, Jeff Stith, Big Creek Barbecue, VoteJeffKCBS.com. Really need to check that website out. We didn't probably get through everything that we wanted to, although we hit a lot of the major topics. So hit up his website, VoteJeffKCBS.com. He goes through in detail. He's got photographs, philosophies. You can meet Jeff. You can contact him. He's got endorsements as well. Very well put together. So, again, I appreciate Jeff for coming on, talking about that. And we'll have John Kirby coming up here in segment number 3. But coming up next, we have Ed Thomas from TeamGrill.com talking about his unique brand of grill. Stay tuned for that. It's Rempy and you right here on the Barbecue Central Show.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose, like ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at TheBarbecueGuru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at Fred'sMusicandBarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at Fred'sMusicandBBQ.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Get in the smoke. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back to the Barbecue Central Show. Have any questions? You can feel free to email the show at any time, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. Want to call in? Do that as well, 216-220-0966. This portion of the show brought to you by D-Dog's Barbecue Rub. You know you love D-Dog's barbecue rubs and sauces, but if you're like me, you don't like to pay the shipping. So do Darren a solid. Won't you send him the information of your one-off mom-and-pop shops that sell all the barbecue rubs and sauces in your area? You can email him, DARIN, at ddogsbbq.com. He will take it from there. He'll cut deals. He'll get that stuff stocked locally. So if you run out in the middle of a cook, all you have to do is run down to your nearest store and hook up with D-Dog's barbecue rubs and sauces. Not afraid of shipping? Hook up his website, ddogsbbq.com. Central Lights, let me ask you a question. Are you a fan of sports? Do you like to rep your team at any cost, no matter what the occasion? Joining me now from Team Grill is Ed Thomas, and Ed is the Director of Marketing for Team Grill. Ed, thanks for coming on. How are you?
I'm great, Greg. Thanks for having us on.
Certainly, and I appreciate the time that you have made to come out here and talk about Team Grill. Where does the idea for Team Grill actually come from?
Well, that's actually a very funny story. The founder of our company also owns what's known as a high temperature coatings business, which is really a fancy way of saying he makes a paint that is designed for high heat applications, and it's used in places like oil refineries or factories where you need to do some maintenance, some painting of like pipes that may be of, with hot water or hot chemicals going through them. You don't want to take the factory offline, so this is a paint designed at that high temperature, so you can coat it, anytime. He got a call from one of his customers in Louisiana and said, Fred, can you make me a spray paint in purple and gold? And Fred said, well, why do you want to do that? And the guy said, well, I want to paint my barbecue grill because LSU's playing in the national championship this year. And so that, Fred being an entrepreneur, that set off a couple of signals in his brain, and he said, well, geez, I could make the paint, but, maybe I should do the whole grill. And so for a couple of years, he ran around with a notebook jotting down ideas of, what he could put in the grill and the designs and the teams, and went to the barbecue show annually to see if anybody had done anything. And year after year, there wasn't anything going on. And finally, his wife said to him, Fred, you either do this or you shut up about it. And so at that point, Fred pulled some people together, started doing some research, and 2 years later, we introduced our first grills this past March at the Barbecue Expo in Reno.
So obviously the things that are going to make this item most viable, especially when he's kind of in this research project for that year or two, is we can make the colors of whatever team you got, whether it be pro or college or whatever the case is. But are there people going to be available to buy them enough to justify going into business? How much time did he spend on that, and where was his jumping point off of saying, okay, well, aside from the guy from LSU, we've done all this research and now we're justified to continue to move on with this?
Sure, and it's actually, I want to address both of those things. The first and foremost, sports licensing market is huge. 76 million people have purchased a licensed piece of merchandise, whether it be grill covers or T-shirts, sweatshirts, hats, you name it. There's a product for everything these days with a team logo on it. But more, going back to your other statement about getting the colors on the grills, that's actually the big challenge here. If you don't match the colors of the teams 100%, then those diehard sports fans aren't going to go near the grill. And so that actually was the biggest piece of the R&D that went into the grill besides the grill itself.
We're talking with Ed Thomas from Team Grill. Are you looking to attack the ultimate sports fanatic, the guy that wears the Peyton Manning jersey and cleats on Sunday, and he paints his face blue and he sits with his buddies in the stadium ripping their shirts off with defense and all that stuff? Or are you looking to attack the guy that is a backyard barbecue, or perhaps something more like the Central Lights here, the listeners of this show, or is it a combination of both?
Well, it is a combination of both. Obviously, having the team logos and the colors on the grill brings in a different crowd of grillers. We're at the stadiums every weekend, particularly here in Boston. We're at Gillette Stadium at the Patriots games, and when Patriots season ticket holders see these grills, they go crazy. They are the ones that are wearing the Tom Brady shirts and ripping them off and face painting. They're the ones with the Brady posters, and the fatheads in their basements. And this, is a new product for them, that they can show their allegiance on game day or, in the backyard, barbecuing before the game. We tried to create a higher end, what we call a professional grade grill. And so this isn't something where we just took a grill and slapped a sticker on it and jacked up the price. We've actually put a lot of thought into the features and the functionality of the grill so that it would also appeal to the higher end barbecue enthusiasts.
We talk about grills here on the show. And one thing that we know for sure, if you know anything about the industry, is brand name recognition is huge. It is king. You have names like Charbroil and Weber. How difficult has it been for you guys to attack this market?
Brand issue is actually interesting because some of the brands that we feature on our grills have made it a little bit easier to get a little bit of recognition in the market because it is such a different product from, what's been out there for the past few years. Having the colors, having the logos, that's turning heads, and it's also bringing in, the more casual griller, looking at our grills. We do compete against some great names and some great grills out there. I think when people see the grills up close, when we bring them to the stadiums, we bring them to the games, they see the quality and, like I said, it's not just a grill with a sticker on it. We've put some thought into the features and the functionality. We recognize that we're going to have a couple of years to get the word out that it is a quality grill, but we think that people are going to buy it because of the passion of their teams. And then a year from now, when it still looks as pristine and the logo still looks great on the grill, and they've had a year of cooking on it, they're going to say, well, I'm actually glad I bought the grill because of the grill features itself as well.
We're talking with Ed Thomas. He's the Director of Marketing for Team Grill. You can find out more about their products at teamgrill.com. Probably an important question for me to ask. Are you farming this manufacturing of the grill itself, not necessarily the paint job and the logoing, but are you farming out the manufacturing of the grill, or is that something that you guys actually do in-house at your facility?
No, we have a leading grill manufacturer that's building the grill for us. It's our design. We've done a number of focus groups and focus group studies where we've talked to people about specific grill features and functions. And from that, we've worked with some leading designers to put the grill design together. And then we've actually outsourced the manufacturing to some leading firms that are known and building some of the best barbecues on the market today.
Are you allowed to be more specific on the manufacturing side of that?
I am actually not.
Boo! All right, so let's go ahead and talk about more specifically about the grill itself. First of all, you have two models to choose from, so go ahead and tell us about those.
Sure. Well, today available we have two models. We start with the Patio Series MVP, which is what we call our Ferrari, and that retails for $14.99. It's a 58,000 BTU grill with 304 stainless steel construction. When you open up the inside, it's all stainless steel, from the grates to the flame tamers to the stainless steel two burners. In addition to the three burners that we have in the grill, we've added an infrared searing burner, which is a nice feature that a lot of the grill fans are going for these days. And then we've added some unique features to the grill. Our stainless steel side shells actually extend outward to give you over 1,200 square inches of food prep space. So literally you're getting an island kitchen on your back deck or your patio. And under one of these extendable side shells is a hidden 12,000 BTU side burner. So we've got the whole package, that folds up nice, that you can focus on the team logo when you're not grilling. When you got a yard full of people, you can spread out the food and show off your team. In addition to that, we have our Pro Series, which is a smaller version of the MVP, and that will retail for $7.99. And that one is one burner less than the MVP, and that one doesn't have the extendable side shells. But again, it's a 34,000 BTU system with stainless steel two burners plus the infrared searing burner. So it's just a smaller version of the MVP, a little bit less in terms of features, but still a pretty darn good grill.
So how do you actually go about getting the logoing and the team rights and all that stuff? I imagine that has to be quite an arduous process to actually get all of that. Is it a thing where you have to go team to team, or do you have to contact league offices and NCAA offices to get that stuff?
It's a little bit of both. When we launched the company, we knew that we had to pick some teams to go out with, and it turns out that there are some marketing agencies that own the licensing rights to a number of the most popular college sports teams. And so our idea was to launch in the southeast U.S. just because of the passion around college football and their ability to grill year-round. And so we approached CLC, which is a licensing company based in Atlanta, and we went down and pitched them on the idea, and ended up getting, we had a list of licenses that we actually wanted to launch with, and they presented it to those schools, and we were approved. And from there, Then we go through the artwork and R&D process where we, do the grill design and so forth. We launched in March with 18 teams, and just from the buzz around the launch, we had a number of schools approach us individually for some of the ones that weren't represented. So we've actually increased the number of schools to over 30 now. And as part of that launch, we also started working with the New England Patriots locally here in Boston and managed to get a license deal with those guys, which has been great for us. And that's helped us get to a licensing agreement with the National Basketball Association. And, of course, that's helping us extend to some of the other leagues. It can be a long process. We continually will add schools, and it's driven based on fan reaction. So, emails from fans saying, hey, I really want this school, I really want this team. And then it's also a combination of what teams the retailers want to carry. So we look at all of those angles, and, once we feel like there's a market for a specific brand or team, then we will contact the entity and start the process for getting approval on the license.
The best way to go and see if your team is available, whether it be NFL or NBA or NCAA, is go to teamgrill.com. They have a full list of teams that are available for your grill. And also probably good to mention, because people are going to hear the $1,500 or the $800 price tag depending on which model. This isn't just the grill aspect. I mean, you have to factor in that getting these logos, getting those sponsorships is costing you guys money too. So there has to be some type of adjustment made in that price tag, I imagine.
Yeah, and the other area that ends up, in the price of the grill too is the fact that we fuse these logos onto the grills so that they don't come off. I mean, that's probably the number one question that we get from fans when they see the grill live. They're thinking that, it's a sticker and that they're going to, barbecue a couple of times and then it's either going to fade or peel or chip off. What people don't understand is that the lid technology itself is porcelain enamel. We figured out a way to match the color in a ceramic so it can withstand the high heat environment of the grill plus the elements. And the logo itself is made out of porcelain, and it's fused onto the lid at higher than grilling temperatures. So when you actually touch the logo on the lid, you can actually feel that it's recessed into it. And so what the end result is that it's an auto quality finish that will last for years, and it will clean easily with soap and water. And so there's some extra manufacturing that goes into that to make sure that it's going to withstand grilling environment and the weather and will last for years. So yes, when you combine all of those together, the licensing piece, the features of the grill, and of course the work that goes into putting the logo on, that does add to the cost. But if you look at the features of the grill with the models that it competes with in the market, they're priced pretty favorably.
Is there a warranty on the logoing on the grill?
There is, and it's 5 years.
We're talking with Ed Thomas, and he is the Director of Marketing for Team Grill. If you're interested in learning more about this product, it's teamgrill.com. That is the website. You can check out your whole list of teams out there, see if your favorite team is on there. And I certainly appreciate you coming on the show to talk about how the concept got started and how these grills are made.
Likewise, thank you for having us, and we wish everybody a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
All right, Ed. Take care. Thanks.
Thanks, Greg.
That's Ed Thomas, Director of Marketing for Team Grill. Again, teamgrill.com is the website if you want to go check it out. All right, give me a quick timeout, and when we come back, we'll have an interview with John Kirby from Backyard Burners about his run for the Kansas City Barbecue Society's Board of Directors. It's Rempe and you right here on the Barbecue Central Show.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose, like ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes, and it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at thebarbecueguru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
Get in the smoke. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
Welcome back to the Barbecue Central Show. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Want to get in touch with the show? You can do it via email, bbqcentralradio@gmail.com is the way to do it. This portion of the show brought to you by the good folks at the Barbecue Guru, makers of automatic pit temperature control devices, not to mention a host of other products that make your barbecue and grilling life easier, like the Onyx cookers, the Holy Smoke meat mats, all that great stuff. Check them out two ways. Online, thebbqguru.com, or you can dial them up toll-free, 800-288-GURU. It's the good folks at the Barbecue Guru. We've been doing a few interviews here with people that are interested in running for the Kansas City Barbecue Society Board of Directors for the upcoming upcoming year 2010. And joining me now is the pitmaster of the Backyard Burners from Baltimore, Maryland. It is John Kirkby. John, how are you?
Hi, fine, thank you.
How long have you been competing? And then, more importantly, how long have you been a actual member of the Kansas City Barbecue Society?
I started competing in 2004. Just as a lark in Bel Air. And then 2005, I joined KCBS and also became a certified judge that same year. We've been competing ever since.
Have you ever made a run at the board of directors in previous years?
No, this will be my first time.
All right, so as I had mentioned, they're right in the open, where there seems to have been, at least on the internet, quite an amount of drama. We had Rod Gray stepping down from the board earlier in the year. There were people calling for other board members' heads on the internet earlier in the year as well. It seemed to have died off now, but of course, a lot of people are now looking at wanting to make changes within the board of directors. This is going to be an extra time commitment on your part. What don't you like, or what would you like to see changed, which is kind of sparking your motivation to run for the board of directors?
Initially, I thought the board at times tried to micromanage, and I got to see the day-to-day staff handle that. I got the board just go back to handling the, maybe the big picture. I thought last year when it came out with that test, the write-in test for all the contest reps, I thought that was a pretty good idea because it got everybody back onto the same page. I'd like to see something done like that with the CBJ teachers. I think the judging has changed so many different times. Nobody is on the same page anymore. At least that's the impression I get.
Should the rules be simplified at all in order to kind of still ingratiate themselves to not only seasoned competitors, but potential new people coming to the table as well?
The rules are actually, they're fairly simple. But you have a lot of people that, the old school, they start at 9s and work their way down. Everybody else came in and saying, well, let's start at 6 and work our way up or down. And now they get away with that, and it seems a little bit confusing. We had a new guy at our table this past summer at a contest, and since he was his first contest, we were all kind of helping, trying in between judging, helping say, well, next is going to be such and such. This is what you look for in that. And then when it came to brisket, we mentioned the burnt ends. Mm-hmm. And he said, our instructor said that burnt ends are just there for decoration, and we're not supposed to take into consideration one way or the other when judging. That's just one of the things that kind of caught my attention.
So perhaps there needs to be some type of consistency in the way that new judges are trained from sea to shining sea.
There's, I don't know how many judges are on the books right now that even don't judge. I mean, a lot of them are, I guess, head cooks that took the judging class to find out what the judges might be looking for to better help them. But if you don't judge in, say, 2-3 years or that, you should be dropped from the judging list. That's my opinion. Also, I think refresher courses, if it's just a fill-in-the-blank take-home test, get everybody on the same page again.
So the things that I have been hearing that seem to regenerate when I have these conversations with folks, whether it be somebody that's already on the board or somebody that's looking like yourself to make a run for a board at the first time, is that there is a lot of micromanaging going on right now, and that they would like to see the board go into a greater holistic vision of moving the whole organization forward in the long term and not worrying about day-to-day stuff. You have employees at the office there that are supposed to be doing that, so get away from that. And then there is a judging factor that seems to be recurring as well with everybody. Should there be a different set of rules for judges that are adopted where it's more like an ICBA or something that is more to the general public, where if it tastes good, that might be the overwhelming thing that is governing the table versus how it's looked or how it's put together?
Well, I'm not familiar with some of the other organizations and how they judge. I like the way KCPS does it. I think the blind judging, the way it is great. I don't agree all the time with the garnish rule, but everybody uses it, so I think it's expected almost to have garnish. But I think it should come down to taste. It is a food contest, and we're trying to put out the best product there is to put out. Taste and tenderness, to me, especially taste, should rule the day.
Would you be opposed to either voting garnish in as a mandatory thing that you need to do during turn-ins, or voting it out altogether and just stop leaving it as in the gray optional area?
I would like to see it one way or the other, yes. I think people are taking things to extreme. You went from lettuce to now the putting greens with all the parsley. Why eliminate, red tip or different types of lettuce? I mean, lettuce should be lettuce. And so if we're going to have garnish, why restrict it to just certain things? I'm sure there was a reason for that rule, but you don't hear it explained.
If you're elected to the board next year for 2010, aside from the things that you mentioned, is there any other things that you would like to change or that you would like to implement during your time on the board?
Like I said, my main interest right now is judging and the CBJs. And if elected, I would like to be put on the CBJ and judging committee, and start having working what way whatever with the other committee members was setting up a refresher course for the trainers, similar to ones that was given to the contest reps. And I would also like to see a purge of the judges that haven't judged in a set number of years. Somebody comes in once every 2 years to judge, I don't think should be judging.
We're talking with John Kirby. He is the pitmaster of Backyard Burners, competition team out of Baltimore, Maryland, making a run for the Kansas City Barbecue Society's board of directors for next year. If you're looking long-term for the Kansas City Barbecue Society, where would you like to see it in 5 or 10 years?
Oh, I'd love to see us international. I definitely be a thing in the Olympics, but I'd like to see a true world championship held in different capitals of different countries every other year or something like that. I do believe we're going global, and I'd like to take and be a big part of that to help to get it started.
What do you feel is a positive currently right now with the existing board? What do you like?
Well, not knowing any of them personally, I think they're all trying to do their best for the organization. I think maybe there are some egos that should be checked at the door before they come into a committee meeting, but that's just all hearsay on my part at this time.
I've heard from a number of people that are going to be making a run for the board this year. They're all cooks. Candy's a cook, you're a cook, John's a cook. And they say inevitably that it is very important to have as many cooks or current cooks on the board as possible because it's giving all the other cooks kind of a voice in the board of directors. Mike Lake is a cook, and he's the president, but he typically does not vote because that is his right. Do you feel the same way? Is it best to have as many cooks on the board as possible in order to have the cook's voice heard?
Oh, definitely. I think because as a cook or a competing cook especially, you're out there in the different contests. You're talking to the different members of the organization, and you get more of a feel for what's going on in the world of competition barbecue. I'd like to see more of the board actually visit competitions, even if they're not competing or anything, just to go and visit and shake hands and talk to the membership. Any contest that's in my area, if I'm not competing in it, I will definitely attempt to visit and just talk with the membership.
Talking with John Kirby. He is the pitmaster of Backyard Burners out of Baltimore, Maryland, and he is going to be making a run for the Kansas City Barbecue Society's board of directors here in 2010. John, is there anything else you would like to say here in closing?
Only that as a retired person, I'll have plenty of time to devote to the board. I will make a point that all my monthly reports will be a monthly report and not just a no report written into the minutes. And I'd like to believe, by living in Maryland, I hope to bring maybe a mid-east point of view to the organization that has always traditionally been the Kansas City area, Missouri, and that.
This is John Kirby. He is making a run for the board of directors on the Kansas City Barbecue Society. John, thanks for coming on and sharing your thoughts about why you want to get on the BOD, and good luck to you.
Well, thanks, Greg, and thanks for having me on.
All right, take care. It's John Kirby, Backyard Burners out of Baltimore, Maryland. We'll come back with one more segment. Give me a quick timeout. It's Rempy and you right here on the Barbecue Central Show.
The future of barbecue is already here at thebarbecueguru.com. From the amazing guru that monitors and controls the temperatures of any charcoal, wood, or electric pit to the Caldera Tallboy knockdown smoker. Yes, it breaks down and stores flat, yet it's still a robust, sturdy, portable cooker and smokehouse. It also serves as an efficient temperature-controlled convection oven using wood or charcoal. The Tallboy is designed to fit all catering pans and can be used as a warming oven. You can cook in any style you choose. Make ribs, chicken, jerky, vegetables, smoked cheese, whatever you want. Take it to KCBS competitions and unload it from the trunk of your car. TheBarbecueGuru.com is where you'll find the Caldera 3-Bay Caterer. It's stainless steel and uses charcoal or sterno for chafing purposes. And it doubles as a 3-bay sink or wash station with hot water and knocks down in seconds with no tools required for transportation and storage. The future of barbecue is here at TheBarbecueGuru.com. That's www.thebbqguru.com or call 1-800-288-GURU.
Forget going from site to site to get all your barbecue and grilling supplies and make your first and final stop at fredsmusicandbarbecue.com. In the market for a new barbecue pit, we have all the big name brands like Big Green Egg and more. As a matter of fact, Fred's is staffed by eggheads and carries all the parts and accessories for the Big Green Egg. More of a pellet head, you say? Fred's is the pellet grill superstore with grills in stock from Traeger, Green Mountain, and Country Smokers from Louisiana Grills. Fred also carries smokers from Cook Shack, Bradley, and Weber as well as a full lineup of charcoal grills. And once you're outfitted with your new smoker or grill, you'll find absolutely everything you need to make your barbecue or grilling experience a success. Fred is also the creator and distributor of Tasty Licks barbecue products, including their great line of rubs, spices, and sauces. You gotta try them. You can also get your hands on a full lineup of marinades, accessories, lump charcoal, wood chips, pellets, chunks, and even the great grilling tools from Stephen Reichland of Barbecue U fame. Check Fred out on the web at fredsmusicandbbq.com or check out their fully stocked showroom in beautiful Shillington, PA.
The only show of its kind on any kind of radio. It's the Barbecue Central Show. Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back to the Barbecue Central Show. Closing it out here with one more segment. Thanks again to John Kirby for coming on last segment, talking about his run for KCBS Board of Directors. Also, thanks to Ed Thomas, segment before that, from Team Grills, talking about their unique brand of grill. And Jeff Stith for kicking it off for his run at KCBS Board of Directors. This portion of the show brought to you by Yoder Smoky Mountain Barbecue. You know who they are by now, Central Lights, the leading online distributor of Meadow Creek barbecue equipment. That's right. These barbecue smokers, pig roasters, chicken cookers, and grills are handcrafted in the Amish country of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. And their goal is to give you outstanding value for the price and enjoy easy and profitable barbecues for years to come. Don't forget that they also carry a full line of rubs and sauces. Serious BBQs, BBQS, SeriousBBQs.com is their website. Check them out. That's Yoder's Smoky Mountain Barbecue. All right, let's go ahead and get a winner for a 2-pack of Petey River Swamp Sauce. If you want to know what that's all about, call in 216-220-0966. Oh, well, here we go. Let's check it out. Barbecue Central Radio Show, name and where you're calling from.
Hey, my name is Cantwell, Alaska.
Cantwell, Alaska.
That's right.
And
Killer Smoke Barbecue.
What's your name, sir?
My name's Everett Chase.
Everett. Well, thanks for calling into the show tonight, buddy.
Got it.
So it's got to be cold out there, right?
Yeah, it's about 40 below right now. We got big wind chills going, snow blowing, blizzard.
All right. And you been listening to the show?
What's that?
You've been listening to the show tonight?
Oh, yeah, I have been, actually.
Great. Anything you'd like to add to the show?
Well, I just am new to the following of barbecue. I'm a barbecue restaurant up here. I'm like your northernmost smoke buddy.
Nice.
And, I found you today on that Twitter, and I'm following you, and I got your radio show on. So, hey, keep her going.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Everett. I appreciate it.
You got it.
All right. Take care. There he is.
All right.
Everett. Awesome. Alaska. What? Got to be cold out there, right? Give me a minute here to get loose. All right. 216-220-0966 if you want PD River Swamp Sauce. Call in, and I will finish the show out here. Let me get to something here. I wanted to make special mention of this. There is a website out there and a barbecue competition guys out there, AZ Barbecue. Mike Ryman is the guy that runs things out there, and it is a great operation. Great website, azbarbecue.com. Great forum if you're looking for somewhere to go aside from the barbecuecentral.com. But they are in the midst of doing a fundraiser, a very special fundraiser. Let me give you a little backstory about this. AZ Barbecue actually won the inaugural Bubba Keg Tailgate Series Championship. You would recall that. And we've had Drew Keenan on from Bubba Keg for a few times talking about that. Well, they ended up winning it. And, of course, part of that prize was, I believe it was a pair of tickets to the BCS championship game. And they won it. So certainly congratulations go out to them for winning that competition. But in true barbecue fashion, they are looking to give back to a family in need. And they are looking to help out folks. Bernie. This guy's name is Bernie. He's one of the barbecue judges out there, AZ Barbecue. He's been a volunteer for them. Well, he's had a terrible year, pretty much. He's lost his grandson a year ago to spina bifida, and the mother and father had a very difficult time kind of coming to terms with all that, and they wound up divorcing over it. And the mother was, and this is Bernie's daughter, the mother was so distraught over it, she actually took her own life, leaving her two daughters, her other two daughters, aged 8 and 13, behind. And then Bernie's son from Alaska flew in for the funeral, and 2 days after the funeral, Bernie came home to see his son sitting on the couch wearing some earphones, thought he was sleeping, so he went ahead and made some dinner and so forth. And then when he went to get him for dinner to eat, he noticed that he was actually cold, called the paramedics, and actually pronounced him dead. So 3 people from Bernie and his granddaughter's family that have passed away in less than 1 year. Certainly tragic. And each year, AZ Barbecue comes and they kind of choose one family within the barbecue community to help out during the holidays. And Bernie and his family were picked, and they wanted to do something special. So basically what they wanted to do is have this charity to raffle off, help raise some money to start up a college fund for these girls. So far, they've raised $1,700, looking to raise, I believe it was $5,000 total. And they're going to go ahead and put up these tickets on eBay and Craigslist. Right now, they're going for about $1,500 per. So it looks like they should be able to clear that $3,000 that they're looking to make up the back end for that $5,000. So if you're interested in getting the BCS game and you want to help this family out that has been experiencing quite a bit of tragedy during the course of 2009, then azbarbecue.com is the place to go. You can find Mike all over the site if you have any questions or where to go to bid and all that great stuff. So I did want to make special mention of that. azbarbecue.com. That's azbarbeque. azbarbeque.com is the place to go to find out more about that. Mike Ryman, great guy, great cause, and a great organization out there. So props to you guys for doing that. In regards to the judging or the board of directors that we have had on, last week we had Candy Weaver. Obviously, we had Jeff Stith and John Kirby on tonight, and I've been taking copious notes. And if you're a voting member of KCBS, and look, I understand that there's probably more of a, let's call it vocal minority, and it's one of those things that few people are perhaps talking of what the masses are, or perhaps it's not like that at all, but typically the squeaky wheel gets a greasing. But here are some of the things that I've noticed from Candy Weaver, from Jeff Stith, from John Kirby. Here are a few items that keep coming back with everybody that is new running for the KCBS Board of Directors. One is something needs to be done with judges, whether it be some type of retraining course, whether it be some type of refresher course that these guys take at home, whether it be some type of continuing education or time limit on people that aren't judging or whatever the case may be. But there seems to be a recurring theme of something needs to be done with the retraining of judges or the continued training of judges. By the way, if you want to win a 2-pack of PD River Swamp Sauce, 216-220-0966 is the number to call in to win that, by the way. PD River Swamp Sauce, swampsauce.com sponsoring that. Also, another item that seems to be popping its head up every single time we talk about this is the micromanaging / infighting that has been going on in the Board of Directors. And now perhaps that has been brought more to light due to the fact that they have allowed a certain number of members to actually listen in via conference call. I got to imagine that KCBS has some type of high-speed internet, and through the technology that they would be able to stream pretty much for free. I think you could use a Ustream or a live stream or whatever they call it, and prohibit people, the general public, from just going in. But, well, maybe you don't want the general public in there, but there should be some way to just have members be able to go in and see that at zero cost. All you have to do is have a high-speed internet connection and a video camera, right? So that's one way of getting around it. Or at least, I would be happy to host the show. I could do the monthly meetings right here, and all I need is an audio feed. I can relay it out there. This is what I do. I'm a radio station, right? So the micromanaging and the infighting seems to be an issue that a lot of people are dealing with right now, and that they would like to have done away with. And then, of course, the last one is transparency, which goes back to the webcasting thing or being able to take part in a meeting. If you don't live in Kansas City and you want to take part in a meeting, it's pretty tough. If you live in Cleveland or if you live in Boston or whatever, it's a pretty tough drive to make. So there, at a minimum, I'm sure there's got to be some type of teleconferencing thing that everybody would have access to. So those are the 3-4 things that continue to come up when we do these interviews. And again, if you're running as a nominee or if you're an incumbent, you'd like to come on the show, but more than happy to have you on and let you speak your piece. And you can email me at bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. 216-220-0966 for your chance to win a 2-pack of PD River Swamp Sauce, by the way. So one of the other things I wanted to talk about is this television show that seems to be making its way on the television here over the last couple of weeks. Certainly been the hot topic on any number of barbecue forums, and I will pick that up here in a second. We go to area code 907, Barbecue Central Show. Name and where you're calling from.
Excuse me?
This is the Barbecue Central Show. Name and where you're calling from.
Oh, my name's Everett Chase. I own Killer Smoke Barbecue up here in Cantwell, Alaska.
Everett's calling back. What's up, buddy?
Yes. I want my sauce, man. I got to try some Outer World stuff.
Now we're talking. All right. Everett, this is what you need to do. Go ahead and send me your shipping information via email, and that's bbqcentralradio@gmail.com. We'll get that down to Tim, and he will hook you up with some of the greatest sauce ever. It's PD River Swamp Sauce. How's that sound, buddy?
Right on, right on.
All right. Thanks for calling back.
All right. Later. Thanks for shooting.
No problem. That's Everett. Winning sauce. 2 calls by the same guy. Perhaps my psyche means that there's only been one listener tonight. Just kidding. Anyway, we go back to the TV show. Is this Barbecue Pitmasters on TLC, airs Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the buzz on barbecue forums across the country. And it seems, I'm not going to say that it's divided 50-50, but I would imagine that more of the vocal majority is not necessarily finding the show to be in favor. Not a good replica or a good representation of what competition barbecue is, on what competitors are actually like. A lot of people seem to be having an issue with how Myron Mixon is coming across, that he is dropping too many F-bombs, that he is a very cocky, arrogant competitor, and that there's not enough of the barbecue side, how they're cooking it, showing the cooking, showing the meat preparation, and that there needs to be a better representation from the cast as to what real barbecue is like. And there's been a lot of debate back and forth. So let me give you my take on this. You can take it with a grain of salt. First of all, I understand that the barbecue community has a certain image in their head on how they thought this show might be. This is reality television, folks, okay? It's there to make money. John Marcus wants to get the word of barbecue out, the word of competition barbecue out. So I think everybody should take a quick step back and realize that he is doing everybody a big service by actually selling this show to TLC and getting it on the air, so it's at least got some type of exposure. You get to see what's happening during the course of the night. And quite honestly, I think there's probably a lot of people out there that might be a little jealous that they're not one of the 5 or 6 or 7 people that were chose to be on that first episode or on that first season. And maybe that's kind of where some of the venom is coming from, that they feel they would be a better representation than Leanne Whippen or Myron Mixon or Johnny Trigg or whoever the rest of the characters are out there. And I don't necessarily agree with that. But you have to remember this, first and foremost. The show isn't going to be successful because everybody that knows about competition barbecue, when you analyze that across the country, is probably a very small percentage of people in the United States. We're not the ones that are going to carry the show into a raging success. Are we tuning into it every week? Yeah, sure. And the haters in the barbecue community are probably going to be tuning into it and watching it more vigorously than the people that actually like the show. Much like people that listen to the Howard Stern show that hate it. They listen more on average per hour than the fans that actually like the show, because you want to watch and see what you can bitch about 3 seconds after the show airs on barbecue forums. And that's fine, because you're watching the show. You're helping it out. If you didn't really like the show, you would use your remote and not tune in. That would really hurt. But inevitably, our small percentage of community isn't going to make the show a success. What's going to make the show a success is Joe Public, the people that didn't know anything about competition barbecue or were on the very periphery of it prior to this show. General public is going to carry the show to a success, or it will be its downfall, and that's the bottom line. And I think John is doing a very good job in the first season, and hopefully if the numbers continue to go the way they are, there'll be a second season, which means all the jealous punks will get the opportunity to go ahead and put in their resume for season number 2, and maybe you will be a better representation for competition barbecue. All right? That's what we got. Again, thanks to my guests for coming on tonight. Jeff Stith, KCBS Board of Director nominee hopeful. Ed Thomas from Team Grill. That's teamgrill.com. By the way, Jeff Stith's website is votejeffkcbs.com. And then John Kirby, he is also a KCBS Board of Directors nominee hopeful. And thanks to LA Talk Radio for letting me run over tonight. There is no live airing of Broad Topics, which is why I'm able to do this. And I think we will go ahead and wrap the show right about now. Don't forget, next week, scheduled to join me, Ted Reeder for sure, multiple-time author and TV star Ted Reeder. Possibly Derek Riches as well, to do some last-minute Christmas shopping for your barbecue and grilling honey, baby. By the way, just want to give special props to my wife, Becky. Not going to go into any further detail. We'll leave it at that, but she knows what I'm talking about. Props to my wife. Yeah, you're damn right. Central Lights, thanks to you most of all for tuning in. Always appreciate it. We'll see you back here next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until then, this is your program host and proud U.S. American, Greg Rempe. Good night now.